Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back after a brief coffee break. I've been asked not to take more than 20 minutes, but I'll try to close it before 20 minutes because the topic which I'm going to cover, I think earlier speakers have covered most of it, right? Uh, again, Industry 5.0, what exactly that means? And the meaning differs from person to person, organization to organization. Previous speaker from Jendamark, he spoke about, are we want, he gave as an opinion, and that is his point of view, that India is not ready for 4.0, and I think we are more aligned towards 5.0 instead of 4.0. Because it brings in not only the automation and technology, but it brings in that collaboration and the human touch, right? So, hi, I am Satish Tiwary, and I lead this manufacturing and supply chain vertical for Dassault Systems in India. A brief overview about Dassault Systems, which we are a French-based company headquartered in France, Vélizy. We have presence in almost 140 countries at 195 locations. We have multiple R&D centers, and one of the largest outside France is in India. So we have two of the largest R&D facilities, one in Pune and one in Bangalore. We cater to our customer requirement directly as well as through our partners. We have a very strong base of more than 20,000 partners. The number is a dated one here, which says 15,000, but yeah, we have more than 20,000 partners, and we give or provide solutions across value chain to almost all the industries. More than 3 lakh happy customers. And if you look at the bottom part of the slide, this is where, Dassault System is conventionally known as a CAD company. So Khadye, most of you would have heard about this brand. So Khadye is our CAD platform. And this is where we started our journey in 1981 as a CAD solution provider. But if you look at from 1981 to say 2022, we have acquired multiple products, and we have spread our solution offerings across multiple value chains of one organization. Now, these are our brand portfolio. If you look at our brand, so the center part of the blue circle, which you can see in the center, is our compass. We call it as a 3D experience compass. And Mr. Kapoor did mention about platform approach, and I think Mr. Dingara also mentioned about that platform approach, wherein although we are doing a lot of digital transformation in silos, but key is to have a platform approach wherein all the functions are interacting and unified data is getting transferred from one function to other function. So that seamless communication and information flow can happen, and then we can bring in that efficiency and resilience across the supply chain and the value chain. But this is not a conventional PLM solution, but it offers even beyond that, wherein you can manage end-to-end workflows, we can manage multiple facets of product and project management across organizations. Then the 3D modeling apps are where we can model anything. So the CAD is for all mechanical modeling, and in CAD, Khadye, we have a lot of models or functionality features available for electronics and electrical as well. Then Geovia is a solution for mine modeling, and Biovia is for essentially for pharma and healthcare sector, where we do model all the formulations which are essentially used for pharma and healthcare industry. Then bottom part is where we have a simulation app. So whatever you have designed, that is into virtual environment. And before really going ahead and launching a product, whatever you have designed as a concept, a virtual product needs to be tested. So this is where we do that simulation, again in virtual environment, and then gradually move into manufacturing that particular thing. So this is where the Delmia, which is related to manufacturing and supply chain, comes into picture, where we merge both the virtual world to the real world, and we run lot of simulations before really going ahead and launching that or starting that manufacturing process on ground. Then the eastern quadrant is where we have all our information intelligence apps, and again, like We are talking about Industry 4.0, 5.0. Data is key. So while doing from your product conceptualization, product data management, to simulation, to modeling, everything generates lots of data. So again, you should have an analytical platform which should be capable enough to give you insights and help you in taking proactive actions. And this again is across value chain, into your design process, into your manufacturing process, into your supply chain process, and so on and so forth. With all this solution, we cater to almost 11 industry segments: transportation, mobility, aerospace and defense, industrial equipment and high tech. These four are our core industry, and these four core industry are in focus for India as well as a geo for us. These are very selected few are successful and happy customers. And if you can look at the names, I mean, across industry, there are almost all the big names who are using our solution. Like in CAD, we are one of the market leader. But not only CAD, we have established ourselves beyond CAD. So we do provide simulation solution not only for product, but for manufacturing, for supply chain, and other functions as well. Now, coming to the topic. So the topic today which I have selected is seamless execution across value chain. So reason why I have selected this topic, because I mean, previous speakers, they explained about that entire journey of industrial revolution starting from industry 1.0 to 4.0 and then later on to 5.0. Now, what is a value chain? So, I mean, if you look at a value chain are collaboration or integration of all the multiple functions which are operating in any organization. So if you look at the bottom part of it, if this is your company, say for example, and for sake of understanding and explanation, just assume that this is a automotive OEM company. So if you look at this, then there are multiple functions related to R&D, related to say supply chain, manufacturing, quality. All these functions, internal functions, constitute the nodes of a chain, which essentially is delivering value to that particular organization. Now, when multiple value chains are integrated, then we form a value network. So, Industry 5.0 is talking more about sustainability, more about enhanced collaboration. And that collaboration is not restricted only to your value chain, but it's extended across the value network. So as an OEM, if you'll see, we are talking about collaborative design. We are talking about from mass manufacturing, we are moving towards mass customization. Then we are catering to customer demands, which are like very unique and very niche and very custom towards or with a particular customer segment. So for that, it's like very essential to have that collaboration, not with our customer, but with our suppliers and tier 1 as well as tier 2 suppliers as well. So if you look at end-to-end, the collaboration is very key, and that is across all the functions. Currently, in the era of industry 3.0, 4.0, all information is related to, for example, if I'm a tier 1 vendor, I'll be given that inward plan from my auto OEM, if I'm taking example of say automotive company. So I'll be given that inward plan from my auto OEM. Designs are already finalized. So only interaction between me and my OEM is the quantity which I'm delivering to the customer, and then all critical KPIs or metrics related to say OTIF delivery performance and all those things. But then what is happening? See, for example, if I'm producing a bad product, that product is getting rejected at OEM line, and the entire lot is kept on hold, and entire material will be sent back maybe for rework, scrap, or all those things, right? With this, am I getting any insights to improve my quality? Maybe yes, because whatever data inputs I'm getting from my OEM, again I'll brainstorm in my value chain across different functions of my organization, and then I'll try to address those quality issues and try to improve my product quality, right? But then what if in real time all those informations related to say some quality parameters, or say for example if I'm supplying something to my end OEM and my OEM is giving the specification, the capability and the variance in the quality or tolerance limit whatever I'm supplying to my end customer, so that proactively I can start gathering data and start taking those actions, so that even if I'm producing a good job but my parameters are going near to my tolerance limit, I should not be producing any bad component or rejections. So that is where at incoming quality level also, if I'm able to get that data, then a tier 1 can also leverage or use those data points for improving the product quality, so that they should not face a issue or a challenge of rejection, or maybe line shortage, stock out, and all those conditions are there, right? So this is where, I mean, this collaboration across the value chain or value network is very critical. Conventionally, we see that, I mean, material flows from left to right, right? Tier 2 supplies to tier 1 supplies to OEM, and then OEM supplies that to customer, and customer to their next customer. And information flows from right to left, wherein as a customer, if marketing team is doing some sort of survey, I'll give my preferences and the product will be designed. That will be then given to an OEM. OEM will be then doing or taking care of all the design aspects, and accordingly, whatever subsequent child parts they want, the information will be passed on to supplier and their supplier. So this was the conventional way of looking at this value network. But now what has changed? The change is this, wherein information is not unilateral, unidirectional. Information is flowing both ways. And this is collaboration, wherein jointly all the nodes of a value network, different nodes, are collaborating to give a solution to end customer, which is cost effective and as per the quality standards and expectations of the customer, so that they are happy using those products, right? Now, again, if I further deep dive, see, we face a lot of challenges in manufacturing, but then we fail to identify whether those are really a problems or those are just the symptoms. I mean, we say that tufan ke aane se pehle ka sannata, some sort of this, right? So if we look at any of these problems, and these are typical high level, this is not an exhaustive list, but just for the sake of explanation, I have considered these 4 points, right? So we do hear about delivery failures. We do hear about stock out excess inventory. We do hear about drop in asset utilization. Then warranty claims, the cost of warranty, cost of poor quality is going up, right? Are these problems? No, these are symptoms. Because we start getting these kind of issue, customer is claiming that your OTIF is very low because of you, my line is stopping if I'm a tier 1. Or maybe I have booked a car, and then my waiting period is increasing as an end customer. So delivery failure is happening. But what is the reason behind that? All these symptoms, the root cause of the problem is something else. The problems are different. These are only the symptoms which we see as problems. So now what are the problems? If you look at a typical, say, collaboration between OEM and tier 1s, there are a lot of processes, manual processes wherein the information are getting shared. Very long turnaround time of approval process between both the parties, which delayed your maybe the process of supplying that part or maybe finalizing that part, which will get fitted into the end product. Then lack of visibility across value chain. I mean, maybe I am giving some sort of demand to my tier 2 supplier, or tier 1 or tier 2 supplier, but I don't have visibility of their asset utilization. How exactly they are going to deliver that? So normally we run MRP into SAP systems, right? And whatever MRP is run, we give those demands to our suppliers also. But MRP is always run at infinite capacity. Do we consider their capacity? No. So that visibility is very essential, wherein we are able to see the asset utilization of my tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers also, because so that accordingly we can pass on those demand requirement to my supplier. Then the gap between request and fulfillment. So if, I mean, there's a concept called bullwhip effect in supply chain, wherein a minor error of 2% at the start of exchange of demand, say for example, a sales guy passing on, or a key account manager passing on that information to supply chain guy, if he will include that 4 to 5% of initial error into demand forecast, it can grow up to 50-60% by end of the value chain. Because at each of the stage, starting from demand sensing to forecasting to planning and then allocating that to multiple lines, we keep on adding those errors and questions. So that creates a chaos situation wherein we might get into a stock out position, or at the same time we might get into excess inventory position, right? Condition. So that is where, I mean, gap between request and fulfillment again is a problem, and it's not a symptom which will maybe raise to the top table wherein I am talking about the delivery failures, stock outs and excess inventory, right? So now I mean, we spoke about collaboration between value networks and all, but then essential is to have that internal collaboration first. So instead of jumping directly to value network, it's key to see first that our internal value network is collaborating. Because see, for me, it's a journey. You cannot skip Industry 4.0 and directly go to Industry 5.0. Because Industry 4.0 tells about data acquisition and data capture. And that you'll be getting in that Industry 4.0 revolution, only that has formalized. Before getting to Industry 4.0, you should have that sensors, CNCs and PLCs, which essentially is in Industry 3.0. Unless you have crossed that layer, directly from Industry 1.0 or 2.0, you cannot directly go to Industry 4.0 because your foundation layer or your enablement layer is not itself there, right? So before getting into that entire value network thing, first we have to focus on our internal value chain. Now, in terms of if you focus or deep dive further into your internal value chain, typical nodes are customers, then sales team, then supply chain team, which then passed on the information to procurement team for material planning. And then accordingly, PPC team does all your production planning, and then execution is done on shop floor. And then there is a closed loop of information and material flow among everyone, right? So as a Dassault system, what we do, we call ourselves as solution provider. We are not a software product company. And this is a typical architecture which we follow, wherein in internal network, in internal organization also, we believe in integrating each and every functions. So starting from your PLM or the product design and the project management thing, whatever you have designed as a product, all your data points will be integrated and shared to the SAP system. All your BOM routing data will be shared with the SAP system so that you can do all your planning. Then at the same time, all your MBOM routing work instruction, whatever we have defined, because once product is ready, all your process planning, BOM routing, everything, all definition takes place in PLM itself, right? So everything will be then passed on to your manufacturing operations MOM layer, which will take care of your execution, day-to-day executions, wherein you will be able to track your man, material, methods, and machine, all sort of genealogy and traceability. Okay? And then production and planning is an integral part, wherein as per your sales plan or maybe requirement from your customer, that will be then broken into schedules so that the same thing can be executed. And then all these things, I mean, MES is in continuous interaction and integration with all your OT layer, which essentially is PLC, CNC, and the standalone IoT sensors also. With this, I mean, we provide a comprehensive solution so that your entire supply chain of the value chain itself is agile, and in seamless manner, all your information and data points are getting shared so that proactively you can take a decision. And you should not get into a situation wherein you are facing all these symptoms and all these problems. So yeah, that's all from my side. Thanks.